How expensive is bridging finance? Well, hey, you're not going to believe the answer, and it's not what you think it is. So keep watching and find out how expensive it really is now. Now, the common view is bridging finance is, insert your expletive here, blah, 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 expensive. I can see why you would think that. Because if you're using it for its original purpose, and when I say original purpose, I'm talking like 30, 40, or even 50 years ago, when it was just used as a bridge in real terms. Now, what do I mean by this? Well, look, the old traditional use is that you found this dream home you wanted to live in, but you hadn't sold the one that you currently live in. So because you didn't want to lose this dream home, what you did was take a bridging loan out until you could sell your current home. Now, of course, there's no profit margin there. There's no write-off against costs. So it's all bottom line costs. Now, of course, that's going to be expensive, and it still is. But the one big difference now in the 21st century is how bridging finance is used. It's used as a commercial tool, and that means the cost is offset against the profit that you make out of the transaction. Now, you can make any sort of transaction, doesn't really matter. You can buy and sell, you can buy and hold, you can buy and convert and then sell or hold. You can derive any sort of rent and income from what you buy and hold. When you use bridging, and it usually use it to buy an unmortgageable property and then make it mortgageable, of course, the cost is always offset against the margin. So that puts bridging in a whole different perspective. Certainly when you use it commercially rather than to purchase a property that you actually want to live in yourself. Now, let's look at what's been happening over the last decade or so in terms of bridging rates versus mortgage rates. Let's look at the comparison between the two. Back over a year ago, when I first got seriously into brokering bridging finance, the rates were at least 3 to 4 times more expensive than a typical buy-to-let mortgage rate. There weren't that many bridging lenders around, and those that were around charged pretty much uniformly about 1.5% a month. Now, with mortgage rates probably around the 3 to 4% on average, you can see that there was quite a difference. And that just fed into this background knowledge. Oh, yes, bridging is expensive, really expensive. But whilst there was, an element of truth to that, and we were still doing bridging deals and making them profitable because of the uplift in the margin that people were getting on the deals that they bought and the improvements that they made to the property. But the landscape has changed in this time, and things are very different now, and even more different in the last 6 months or so as we move into spring of 2023.
Hey, have you subscribed yet? If not, click the button there. Oh, and that dingy belly thing there so you don't miss a new video every time I release one. Thank you. And follow me on Instagram too. There's the button down there. Thank you.
Now, if pre-credit crunch mortgage rates were at 4, 5 or even 6%, the credit crunch knocked mortgage rates down. So in the early 2010s, bridging still at 18% effectively. You can see there was a huge differential. However, the last 5 to 7 years, there's been a huge change in the availability and cost of bridging. Why? Very simply, way more bridging lenders entering the market. It's a much more crowded marketplace than it was even 5 years ago. But one of the big effects has been the pushing down of interest rates charged. And they're probably around half of where they were a decade ago. So it's not 1.5% anymore. In fact, it's rarely even 1% anymore. So sub 1% a month bridging rates are now the norm. And this spiraling downwards of the interest rate charged to remain competitive has meant that bridgers make an awful lot less money than they used to 5 or even certainly 10 years ago. Another factor of this increased competition is exit fees, and pretty much no bridging loan has an exit fee anymore, unless it's a pretty complex loan. But most normal bridging loans, most standard bridging loans, no longer have exit fees because it's not competitive for bridgers to charge them. So rates of, let's say, 0.75 a month have become more the norm. I mean, not every bridging loan is that rate, but more than ever before, those are the sort of rates that people are getting. And for the really best rates on bridging, look at something like 0.5 a month. Now, here's the surprising bit, actually. We've all seen mortgage rates spike from late 2022 and into 2023. But here's the curious thing. Bridging rates have remained virtually unchanged. Why? Because they get their money from different sources. So while mortgage rates have escalated to 5% and 6% for even basic buy-to-let mortgages, bridging rates have remained unaltered. So from the peaks of 6 to 8% mortgage rates in the autumn of 2022, we're now back down to, well, you know, if you can get a 5% and a buy-to-let mortgage rate, you're still doing pretty good. So what does this mean? And I said to you right at the beginning of this video, there's a big surprise. Here's a surprise. Bridging rates and mortgage rates are almost at parity for the first time ever. And this is amazing news. So if you're paying roughly around 5 to 6% or even a bit more for the not so great buy-to-let mortgage rates, and you can get for the best bridging rates around 0.5% a month, which is around 6% per year, you've got pretty much parity. And I think investors are pretty much unaware of this, and there's a huge opportunity for people that can grasp this concept. If you're still on this old mantra that, oh, bridging is expensive, it's out-of-date thinking. And those people that are still connected to out-of-date thinking are going to miss opportunities. So what we've got here is a proper gilt-edge opportunity that most people won't spot. The ability to use bridging finance to fund your deals at a rate that's not far off what mortgage rates are going to cost you. But hey, don't be telling too many people about it because you want to take advantage of it for yourself. So that's my video for this week. I'm going to be back next week with another property finance video. See you then.
If you enjoyed watching this video, did you know every Monday morning at 8:30 I do a live Facebook Q&A. So if you want to start the week with checking out some answers to your property finance questions, click the link here.